15 luxury brands only the ultra-rich know exist. And once you hear these names, you'll never look at designer the same way again. Because while most people are busy chasing the loud stuff, the logos, the hype, the look at me handbags, there's a different tier of luxury happening in the shadows. The kind that doesn't trend on TikTok, the kind you don't see in airport lounges, the kind you can't save up for because you'd first need to know it exists. And even then, you might not be allowed in. And that's the twist. The ultra-rich aren't buying more luxury than everyone else. They're buying different luxury. Quiet brands with terrifyingly good craftsmanship, tiny production runs, and price tags that don't even try to be reasonable because they're not designed to impress strangers. They're designed to impress people who already have everything. In this video, we're counting down 15 luxury brands that operate like private clubs, the ones whispered about at dinner tables where phones stay face down. You'll learn why these labels stay invisible, how the real luxury signal has changed, and which brand at number 1 is so exclusive it makes mainstream luxury look like souvenir merch. Let's start the countdown. Number 15, Delvaux. If Hermès is the name people drop, Delvaux is the name people whisper. This Belgian leather house has been making bags since the 1800s, which means it was quiet luxury before quiet luxury needed a hashtag. The wild part? Most shoppers walk past a Delvaux boutique and assume it's just a storefront. Inside, someone is choosing between icons like the Brilliant or the Tempête, handbags that look understated and cost like a renovation. Delvaux doesn't chase hype, no screaming logos, no influencer circus. The designs are crisp, architectural, suspiciously calm, like they're allergic to trend cycles. And that's exactly why the ultra-rich love it. It signals taste, not thirst. It's the kind of bag you carry when you don't need strangers to know you have money, because the people who matter already do. Even the shopping experience feels different. Staff talk about leather like sommeliers talk about wine. You're not buying a vibe. You're buying craftsmanship. And here's the status punchline. Because Delvaux isn't plastered everywhere, it still feels like a secret. You're not buying a bag. You're buying distance from the crowd. But bags are only one layer of hidden luxury. At number 14, we're stepping into a world where the fabric alone could pay your rent, and the clients don't blink. Number 14, Stefanelli. Imagine walking into a Parisian fitting room and realizing the outfit you're ordering will outlive your mortgage. That's Stefanelli, an old-school tailoring house that operates less like a brand and more like a private membership. No giant ads, no flashy runway theatrics, just whispers, appointments, and jackets so precise they feel like they were grown on you. Sometimes the waiting list is the whole point. The ultra-rich love Stefanelli for one main reason: it's invisible. A Stefanelli suit doesn't shout designer. It murmurs, "This was made for me." The shoulders are softly structured, the chest is sculpted, and the details are the kind you only notice if you've spent embarrassing amounts of time around other rich people. The famous cigarette sleeve? Subtle. The lapel roll? Quiet. The fit? Slightly insulting to everyone else's off-the-rack life. And here's the best part. Stefanelli isn't trying to dress you for Instagram. It's dressing you for boardrooms, yachts, and dinners where nobody asks what you do. They already know. So while the world argues about which sneaker drop is luxury, the real luxury crowd is getting measured in silence. Stefanelli proves something important. The ultra-rich don't need their luxury to be recognized. They need it to be respected. And once you understand that, you realize the flex isn't always in what you wear. Sometimes it's in what you carry. Because if a tailored jacket is the quiet uniform of old money, the next level is the luggage and leather that follows you through private terminals, five-star lobbies, and cities where nobody takes the subway. Which brings us to number 13, a Parisian house so under the radar that even some luxury lovers have never heard the name. But the people who travel with real wealth, they know it instantly. Number 13, Moynat. Most people can name Louis Vuitton. A few can name Goyard. But Moynat, that's the one the ultra-rich keep in their back pocket like a secret handshake. Moynat is a Parisian trunk and leather house with old money energy so strong it practically smells like first-class cabin air. The designs don't scream, they behave. Clean lines, minimal branding, craftsmanship that feels almost rude in its quiet confidence, like it's daring you to ask the price. And here's the kicker. Moynat doesn't chase the spotlight. No loud campaigns, no mass hype drops, no desperate look at us moments, which ironically makes it even more desirable. Because when a brand is hard to find, hard to get, and even harder to flex online, it becomes a different kind of status. Not I spent money, more like I know things. Ultra-wealthy shoppers love Moynat for the same reason they love private clubs. Exclusivity without noise, the kind of brand you discover through proximity. A recommendation at a dinner where nobody says what they do because everyone already knows. And if Moynat felt like a hidden door in Paris, brace yourself. Number 12 is what happens when luxury gets even quieter and even more selective. Number 12, Valextra. If Moynat is the secret luggage club of Paris, Valextra is its Milanese cousin. Quiet, polished, and always one step ahead. This Italian leather house makes bags for people who don't want a logo announcing their bank balance. No monogram wallpaper. No giant hardware begging for attention. Just clean geometry, sharp edges, and leather so precise it feels engineered. Here's how Valextra sneaks into ultra-rich circles. It looks almost ordinary, like a nice work bag. Until you touch it. The stitching is tight, the structure holds like architecture, and the design details are the kind you only notice if you've spent years around expensive things. Some pieces even hide the brand name inside, like it's embarrassed to be seen, and that's the point. Valextra is what you buy when you're done proving yourself. The bag isn't trying to be the outfit, it's trying to be the tool, the kind of bag you carry through private terminals, board meetings, and hotel lobbies without giving strangers a free read on your wealth. It's also a quiet form of gatekeeping. Most people don't recognize Valextra, so nobody asks, "Is that real?" They just assume it is, if you carry yourself like it is. But if a hidden bag is elite, wait until the next brand, where even buying a shirt can feel like a power move, and your tailor knows it. Number 11, Charvet. Valextra hides the flex in leather. Charvet hides it in cotton. And yes, that sounds dramatic. Until you realize Charvet isn't a shirt brand. It's a Place Vendôme institution that dresses diplomats, old families, and men who treat airports like hallways. If you've ever seen someone in a plain white shirt that somehow looks expensive from across the room, this is often the reason. Charvet's magic isn't a loud design. It's the obsessive details. Collars that sit perfectly without collapsing. Cuffs that behave all day. Patterns woven so subtly, you only notice when the light hits. They make ties that look like power without looking like a costume, and they're proudly unbothered by trends. Because their customers aren't trying to be fashion-forward, they're trying to be unquestioned. Buying Charvet feels like luxury from a calmer universe. No hype drops, no limited edition panic, just quiet options, quiet service, and the reminder that if you want something special, it will be made for you. Properly, suddenly, most shirts feel like they came free with a sandwich. And here's the ultra-rich tell. Charvet is expensive, but it's not meant to shock you. It's meant to disappear on the body and upgrade the person wearing it. That's real stealth wealth. But if Charvet is the secret weapon for looking elite, number 10 is the nuclear option, the brand that turns tailoring into near religion. Number 10, Kiton. Charvet makes you look polished. Kiton makes you look like you have a lawyer on standby. This is Naples at its most obsessive and proudly old school. Suits, jackets, and coats built with the kind of handwork that makes luxury in most stores look like a prank. Kiton's reputation lives in the hours, not a lot of hours. The unsettling kind of hours. Hand-stitched construction, hand-set shoulders, tiny adjustments you'll never notice consciously, but everyone else will feel. The fabric choices lean into quiet excess. Buttery cashmere, rare blends, textures that look simple until you realize they move like silk and hold shape like armor. And here's why the ultra-rich love Kiton. It's expensive in a way that doesn't try to entertain you. There's no theatrical logo, no runway gimmick. It's just, this is the best, and the price will remind you. The people who buy it aren't dressing for likes. They're dressing for rooms where reputation enters before you do. Kiton also has a cruel side effect. Once you try it on, everything else starts to feel wrong. Sleeves too stiff, chest too boxy. The fit becomes the baseline, and suddenly your closet feels like it's been lying to you. Now, if handmade Italian tailoring feels like the peak, number 9 gets even more selective. A brand so discreet it's practically invisible unless you're already inside the circle. Number 9, Cesare Ottolini. If Kiton is the loudest version of quiet luxury, Cesare Ottolini is what happens when Naples takes the volume knob and snaps it off completely. This is the tailor's tailor. The kind of name that rarely shows up on billboards because its clients aren't scrolling for outfits, they're getting dressed for power. Ottolini's magic is in the construction. Jackets that feel light but sit like they were custom built around your posture. Shoulders that don't look designed, they look inevitable. The fabrics are serious, the fit is surgical, and the vibe is, I'm expensive, but I'm not here to entertain you. It's the kind of suit you notice after the meeting, when you realize the best-dressed person in the room didn't sparkle, didn't shout, didn't even try, and still won. And that's why the ultra-rich love it. Adelini doesn't signal money to strangers. It signals discernment to people who've already been around money their whole lives. But tailoring is still, at its core, a public performance. You wear it and walk into rooms. At number 8, we switch to a different kind of stealth. Luxury that hides in plain sight, especially in women's wardrobes, where the richest flex is looking simple, on purpose. Number 8, Acris. Acris is one of those brands that makes you think, wait, why does this plain coat look better than everything else on the street? And then you learn the price, and suddenly it makes perfect sense. This Swiss house isn't built on hype, it's built on precision. The silhouettes are clean, the tailoring is razor sharp, and the materials feel like they were sourced from a different planet. Crisp cottons, buttery cashmeres, and technical fabrics that move like they have manners. Acris doesn't do, look at me. It does look closer, which is exactly why it's a favorite among women who have nothing to prove and everything to protect. Privacy, taste, and that delicious ambiguity of wealth. The ultra-rich love Acris because it reads as understated to everyone, except the people who know. No loud logo, no obvious trend. Just this calm, controlled elegance that makes other luxury look like it's begging for attention. And here's the funny part. An Acris outfit can look so minimal that your friend might think it's basic, right up until you mention it costs more than their entire holiday budget. Now, if Acris is stealth luxury in clothing, number 7 is stealth luxury in leather, a brand so discreet it feels like a secret handshake in handbag form. Number 7, Serapian. Serapian is Milanese luxury with a straight face, no screaming logos, no limited drop theatrics, just insanely good leatherwork that the ultra-rich spot instantly, usually while everyone else is still trying to identify the bag. The house is known for its handcrafted woven leather technique that looks refined, not flashy. The designs are structured and elegant, like they belong in a penthouse hallway, not an influencer's unboxing video. Serapian bags are the kind of pieces you buy because you travel a lot, you hate noisy branding, and you prefer your status to be implied, not announced. This is also why it stays hidden. Serapian isn't chasing mass recognition. It doesn't need to. Its customers already live in the circles where people trade recommendations quietly, the same way they trade private doctors and off-market real estate listings. When luxury becomes this discreet, the brand stops being a purchase and starts being a signal. I'm not in the audience, I'm behind the curtain. And once you understand Serapian, you realize the ultra-rich don't just buy expensive things, they buy things that don't get copied easily. But number 6 takes that idea even further. Luxury so rare and so controlled that it feels less like shopping and more like gaining access. Number 6, Loro Piana. If Serapian is stealth wealth in leather, Loro Piana is stealth wealth in touch. This is the brand that makes people say, it's just a sweater, right up until they feel it. And then their entire personality changes. Loro Piana doesn't sell fashion as much as it sells materials so rare they sound fictional. Baby cashmere, vicuña, fibers so soft and fine they basically float. The designs are almost aggressively simple. Neutral palettes, clean lines, no screaming logos. Because the point isn't to be seen, and the point is to be comfortable in a way only money can buy. Ultra-rich shoppers love Loro Piana because it's luxury that performs. It keeps you warm without bulk, drapes without effort, and looks expensive without trying. It's the kind of outfit you wear on a private jet because you want to feel like you're wrapped in calm. And it has this quiet status effect. Only people with real taste recognize it, which is exactly what the ultra-rich prefer. The funniest part? Loro Piana is so understated that if you don't know it, you'll never know you're looking at something that costs more than a designer handbag. That's the flex, priceless looking, while being very, very priced. But if Loro Piana is about rare materials, number 5 is about rare access, luxury that doesn't just cost money, it costs permission. Number 5, Brunello Cucinelli. Brunello Cucinelli is what happens when quiet luxury gets a PhD and moves to a hilltop Italian village to meditate. This brand isn't loud, isn't trendy, and isn't trying to impress you. It's trying to make you feel like you've already won. Cucinelli's signature is elevated basics, cashmere knits, perfect trousers, soft tailoring, earthy tones that look like effortless, but only if your effort is funded. The craftsmanship is obsessive, the fabrics are unreal, and the whole aesthetic says, my life has good lighting. The ultra-rich adore it because it blends into their world like it belongs there. Yachts, vineyards, private dinners, art fairs where nobody takes selfies. And then there's the brand's quiet mythology. It's wrapped in this philosophy of humanism, heritage, and doing things the right way, which makes buying it feel less like shopping and more like joining a tasteful little cult. A very expensive, very beige cult. Cucinelli is also a status filter. Most people won't clock it, but the people who do, they'll clock you. That's the point. Recognition by the right eyes. Now, if Cucinelli is the uniform of serene wealth, number 4 is what you wear when you want your luxury even more discreet, almost anonymous, but still impossibly refined. Number 4, the row. The row is luxury for people who would rather be misunderstood than overdressed. Founded with a less but perfect obsession, it's the kind of brand where a plain coat can cost a fortune and still look like you picked it up without thinking, which, for the ultra-rich, is the entire game. The silhouettes are clean, the colors are quiet, and the construction is terrifyingly good. The seams behave, the fabrics fall like they're trained, and everything looks effortless because it took an unreasonable amount of work to make it that way. The ultra-rich love the row because it has almost no visible branding. It's not trying to win the internet, it's trying to win the room. And it's the ultimate if you know flex. The row bag doesn't announce itself like a trophy. It's more like a private nod. I don't participate in loud luxury. That's why you'll see it on people who could buy anything and choose to look like nothing on purpose. The row is also brutal in its restraint. No trend chasing, no desperation, just purity. And that scarcity of noise is exactly what makes it feel elite. But number 3 takes that quietness and turns it into a full-blown secret society, a fashion house so controlled and so exclusive, it's basically designed to keep you out. Number 3, Hermès. If the row is quiet luxury with sharp edges, Hermès is quiet luxury with a locked door. And the key isn't money, it's access. Hermès is one of the few fashion houses that has turned scarcity into a sport. You can walk in with a black card and still walk out with a scarf and a mild existential crisis. Because the real trophies, the Birkin, the Kelly, the special leathers, the rare colors, aren't simply bought, they're earned. Through relationships, purchase history, timing, and a little bit of you'll know when you know. And that's why the ultra-rich love it. Hermès doesn't chase customers. Customers chase Hermès. The craftsmanship is insane, yes, but the deeper flex is that not everyone gets invited to the best part. Owning Hermès signals patience, power, and proximity to the right circles. It whispers, I'm not just wealthy, I'm established. Even when Hermès goes loud, it's still coded. The H-buckle doesn't scream like a monogram, it hints. And if you've ever seen someone carry an Hermès bag like it's no big deal, that's not casual. That's dominance. But Hermès is still, technically, a name most people recognize. At number 2, we enter a tier where the ultra-rich don't just buy luxury, they commission it. And the brand name barely matters because the item is almost private. Number 2, Maison Le Marié. Most luxury brands sell you a finished product. Maison Le Marié sells you the invisible magic that makes other luxury look expensive. This is a historic French atelier known for feathers and flowers. The kind you see on couture runways and red carpets and assume, oh, that's pretty. What you don't realize is that those details are often made by hands that work like artists. Le Marié doesn't operate like a normal label. It operates like a backstage legend, creating embellishments so delicate and time-consuming that the price isn't high, it's basically a warning. And here's why the ultra-rich know it. Because couture clients and top fashion houses know it. If you're buying true high fashion, the kind that's made, not mass-produced, you start learning the names of the ateliers behind the scenes. Le Marié is one of those names. Owning something with Le Marié work is like owning a painting, except you wear it. It's not about logos. It's about labor, heritage, and the kind of craftsmanship that can't be rushed. But number 1 goes even deeper into that private luxury world. A brand so rare, so discreet, and so selectively produced that most people will never even see one in real life unless they're sitting next to the right person at the right table. Number 1, Azzedine Alaïa. Alaïa is the ultimate ultra-rich fashion secret because it's not built like a typical luxury brand. It doesn't scream. It doesn't chase trends. It doesn't beg for attention. It just exists, like a myth with a zipper. Alaïa has long been revered for sculptural tailoring that hugs the body like it was engineered, not sewn. The pieces are famous for their construction, laser-precise cuts, intricate knitwork, silhouettes that make expensive look like an understatement. And the people who love Alaïa aren't shopping for a logo. They're shopping for a feeling, power, elegance, and that quiet confidence that doesn't need explanation. Here's the kicker. Alaya isn't everywhere. You're not constantly seeing it in mall boutiques or mass influencer hauls. It shows up in the wardrobes of women who have stylists, art collections, and the kind of social calendar that doesn't include explaining themselves. That scarcity keeps it in the ultra-rich no zone. And when someone wears Alaya, it doesn't read as trendy. It reads as timeless, but not basic timeless. More like, this person has taste and history and possibly a private driver. Alaya is the kind of brand you discover late, and once you do, you realize half of luxury is just noise, and the other half is quiet mastery. So what does this list really tell us? That the highest level of luxury isn't louder, it's quieter, rarer, and way more selective. The ultra-rich aren't buying logos to prove they can afford something. They're buying craftsmanship, scarcity, and insider signals most people don't even know to look for. And that matters for you because once you understand how real luxury works, you stop falling for the obvious traps. You start spotting the difference between expensive and exclusive, between trend and timeless. Now tell me, which brand surprised you most, and which one feels like the ultimate if you know flex? Drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe for more luxury deep dives, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.